Christian Horner, the FIA and Formula One all have some huge problems heading their way, heading towards the Austrian GP. Christian Horner's case is resurfacing. The FIA have shown that they don't do their due diligence and they don't complete the tasks that they claim they're going to. And Formula One is just going to take the hit of reputational damage as a result of all of the FIA and Christian Horner's inconsistencies, failures, and what more can I say? It is a mess. Shall we get into what's happened over this past week? So we saw in Bahrain and in Jeddah that Christian Horner is in the mud. He is really in the mud. The Google Drive leaks, his text message leaks, it is not going well for him. He's recently been investigated for transgressive behaviour, sexual misconduct, and all these things internally by Red Bull. But as I've previously stated, an internal investigation doesn't deem that it is legal, it doesn't deem that he is being cleared, it doesn't deem that he has been found innocent. And to be fair, a lot of people saw the dismissal of the case and took it as, he's alright, he's done nothing wrong. But I'm here to tell you that we're at the point where it's starting to look like he isn't in the right. It's starting to look like something has gone wrong. Now, originally, when this case came to light, it was put into the public eye, it was reported by Dutch press. A lot of the leaks have come through Dutch press, and we're now getting to the point where we've learned that the leaks of the text messages, the Google Drive, has come from a whistleblower. The whistleblower did tell the FIA that they wanted it investigating properly because they felt that Red Bull would cover it up. And as we've seen by the dismissal of the case, that is what Red Bull have tried to do. Horner's consistent requests for the media to move on and people to stop talking about it, again, is another way of trying to sweep it under the carpet. But yet again, it's come to the forefront. We're now on March the 18th. This case it's been a case since before the turn of the year. Now, we only found out about it just before the Red Bull car launch, which was at the start of February. So realistically, it's been going on for a long time. We're now seeing that Max Verstappen may leave the team as a result of this. We're seeing Adrian Newey and Christian Horner's relationship is strained. We're seeing Helmut Marko and Christian Horner's relationship is strained. We're seeing some massive problems here in Formula One and especially at Red Bull Racing. Now, the worst part about it is the FIA deemed earlier, they made comments along this case, but the FIA has deemed itself inconsistent by not actually doing anything. The FIA did put out a statement saying that if anything was reported to their hotline, essentially, that they would investigate, they'd deal with it. But what we have learned over the past week is that, yes, the person reported it to the FIA. As I previously mentioned, they were scared of it being covered up, swept under the carpet by Red Bull, which is what appears to have happened so far. The FIA failed to investigate. Then they reported it again, and the FIA again failed to investigate. The person in the second report stated that they were going to leak things to the media, and that is what's happened. Stuff was leaked to the media during, I think it was Bahrain Free Practice 2, and realistically, the court of public opinion, now whether you agree with that or not, that is the situation we're in right now. Christian Horner will not enter a legal court. This will not enter a legal court. It will be dealt with before then, in my opinion. Now, what we've learned is the court of public opinion, the people backing Christian Horner are mainly Red Bull fans. The people that aren't backing him aren't Red Bull fans. And for me, a lot of people are taking the words of the Red Bull statement wrong. He was never dismissed. He was never found innocent. And we just keep going around in this circle where people go, oh, but he was innocent. Oh, he was cleared. But that wasn't the case. And this is what people need to understand. The case was dismissed and there was no reason given. And the consistent problem that keeps occurring in this situation is that the Red Bull are failing to give any reason for the clearance of the case. The FIA have failed to give any reason for why they failed to investigate. And in fact, the FIA put out a statement saying that they would not comment publicly. However, that was very different when a bogus article was released about Toto Wolff and Susie Wolff, and immediately an investigation was launched. We're now a month plus into this information being public. No investigation has been launched by the FIA. Now, I think we're all starting to see the fruits of Formula One and the FIA and Red Bull Racing. We know what they're trying to do. They're trying to sweep it under the carpet. But that is not going to happen. The accuser has now appealed her case. She has changed her legal team. I believe she's changed her legal team, and she has appealed the case against Red Bull, against Christian Horner. Now, as I mentioned in a previous video, she has been suspended. I believe she is on full pay suspension, but she has been suspended. This appeal, again, if it doesn't go the right way, there has apparently been threats made that it will go legal. Now, in my opinion, I think this will be shut down. I think the case will be dealt with properly this time. But do I think it's going to be an internal case done? I don't know. I am in the position where, obviously, a lot of you watching this and people on my channel won't know the full ins and outs, just like I don't. The only people that do is Christian Horner and the investigators, the accuser, and whoever the accuser has told. And it's quite clear to me that this investigation hasn't been dealt with properly, hasn't been dealt with in the correct manner. And as much as they tried to push We Racers 1, they're trying to now push F1 Academy. In my opinion, they are failing to make women safe in Formula 1. Now, if the accuser has told lies, if there is no proof to her claims, say that. Put that into the public domain. You don't have to give personal details. You don't have to... Realistically, all you have to say is Christian Horner was found innocent due to lack of evidence or due to factual inaccuracies or something along those lines. Now, many people may not agree with it. Many people may go back to the leaks and say, well, that's wrong. But if it's been proved right that he's innocent, then it doesn't matter what anybody else says, but he hasn't been proven innocent. And this is the problem that keeps consisting here. We've seen in the past that when the FIA does things, it's not normally in the best interests of people or anything like that. It's normally in the best interests of their reputation. It's normally in the best interests of the team's reputation or the sport. But what we're seeing here is the FIA putting its reputation on the line and not doing its job. And we saw in previous years now different situations, but like things that had reputational damage. You go back to 2021, wasn't dealt with correctly. FIA investigating the FIA doesn't work well. We've now got a race fixing scandal, which I believe we're 3 or 4 weeks into the investigation for that, so we should hear about that over the next couple of weeks. And it just goes to show that these people in power don't get punished to the extent that they should in some cases. Now, I'm going to put some screenshots on the screen. I'm going to read them to you, and this is all to do with the Christian Horner case and how it's going to continue to keep going. So, as I mentioned, the accuser has appealed. I believe she's changed her legal team. She's set to appeal, and the FIA is supposedly overviewing the case. The FIA has received an official complaint. Now, the rumour is they've received 2 already, so this is probably the 3rd one, and they're now overviewing. But will they find anything? Who knows? Will they do anything? Who knows? We also, another tweet that I'm going to put on the screen now. Now, this is from a fan. It's someone that I follow on Twitter, and I think it speaks volumes. The FIA president was more concerned shaking hands in front of the cameras for Christian Horner than actually investigating the matter. The FIA president was begging Verstappen to publicly support Horner instead of dealing with the matter. And I think a lot of this shows that the person quite clearly knew what was going to happen with the investigation at Red Bull. It was quite clear it was going to be covered up. It wasn't going to be dealt with correctly. And we're now in a position where that is causing huge problems for the FIA and for Formula One. Another tweet from Fastest Pit Stop. I'm going to obviously put that on the screen now. First complaint was made to the FIA on the 2nd of February. It was directed at Horner's behaviour, asked the FIA to look into it. But on March the 1st, the FIA said it hadn't received a formal complaint and it wasn't going to look into it. And then a second complaint was put on the 6th of March and warned that a whistleblower would next inform the media. Now, what did we see? First race weekend, Google Drive leaks. So I think it goes to show that the FIA are publicly lying to the people, to the fans of the sport, and it's going to cause reputational damage. At some point, the FIA is going to have to make some changes here because the president just isn't doing his job. He's involved in a race fixing scandal. His vice president is involved in a race fixing scandal. So it's just a big problem, innit? Then we've got a tweet from another person on Twitter, Denny. I follow her. She puts out loads of... she shares loads of articles and stuff to do with Mercedes, the FIA, Formula One. And she shared here a BBC article basically showing, again, what I previously mentioned from the tweet from the Fastest Pit Stop, claiming that it hasn't received a formal complaint when in actual fact it turned out they had received 2. And then another tweet from Rob Myers sharing a Telegraph article. Horner's accuser is to appeal after changing lawyers, which I mentioned earlier, and a Red Bull leaks investigation. Now, he says that suggests they're real. I said that at the time. I said the fact that they were threatening legal action and things like that. I said instantly, if they're threatening legal action, for me that means they're real. If they weren't real, they would just clarify that they're not real. They'd put out a statement or something. And then it then further appears in that Telegraph article that Helmut Marko inserted the release clause in Max's contract without anybody knowing. But obviously, as Red Bull say, as Christian Horner says, they're more united than ever. But I think we're starting to see that just isn't the case at Red Bull Racing. So, what do you think? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. When do you think this is all going to end? I want to hear your thoughts down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button while you're down there, and I'll catch you in my next video. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula One and football weekend.